On Friday night, Bernie Sanders called out MSNBC for its corporate ownership in an interview with Rachel Maddow. Now let's take a little bit of a look at that right now.
I think the American people are sick and tired of establishment politics and economics, and by the way, a little bit tired of corporate media as well. They want real changes in this country, and I think as President of the United States, we can ignite those changes.
What's the solution to corporate media?
I think we have got to think about ways that the Democratic Party, for a start, starts funding the equivalent of Fox television.
A left-wing version of Fox. Ooh, the way that sounds is like, be careful. But actually, I think it might not be a bad idea, because I would assume that Bernie Sanders, by saying a left-wing version of Fox, it would mean the opposite of Fox, where they actually tell the truth. I could get behind that if they stay true to the facts, right? Because facts matter. Now, MSNBC already, or at least it is, or at least it was, the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party establishment, because they either fired or alienated their more liberal hosts, except for, Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes. But the rest are people like Chris Matthews. That's actually more center-right. And of course, you've got Republican Joe Scarborough. Now, those people represent the establishment. Now, Joe Scarborough is more Republican establishment, but Chris Matthews is definitely Democratic establishment. So you could say they are the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party, whereas Fox News is also the propaganda arm of the Republican Party. So there's that. Now, I give you an example of MSNBC being part of the Democratic establishment because of their ongoing defense of everything Barack Obama. They wouldn't criticize him on the areas he was wrong. Now, I understand defending a candidate when you think that they're right, but Barack Obama has also been wrong, and MSNBC refuses, or had refused to call him out. Now, I also remember that the channel wanted to toss Cenk Uygur over the weekends, host of the Young Turks, because people in Washington were not comfortable with his tone towards Washington. So, look, if we're arguing for a more progressive, more aggressive progressive channel that specializes in honesty and telling the facts and integrity instead of pleasing corporate sponsors, hell, I'm in. I mean, after all, that's what I'm trying to do here. Now, Sanders, getting back to him, went on to argue that we've got to put some pressure on the media to cover actual policy. Let's take a listen to that.
I think the pressure has got to be put on media to say that, you know what, maybe as a nation, the American people are entitled to hear real discussions on real issues. You tell me, you're in the media, what percentage of media discussion in this campaign is about process? Who's going to win in West Virginia? How many delegates does Hillary Clinton have? What dumb thing did Donald Trump say yesterday, rather than, why are we the only country in the industrialized world not to guarantee health care to all people? How much discussion have you heard on TV about the fact that the top 0.1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%? That's the kind of discussion we need, and the American people need to be engaged in that. So we have got to demand of corporate media, and that's going to be hard because this is against their own best interest. NBC is owned by who?
Comcast, our overlords.
All right, yeah. Comcast is not one of the most popular corporations in America, right? Mm-hmm. All right, et cetera, et cetera. And I think the American people are going to have to say to NBC and ABC and CBS and CNN, you know what? Forget the political gossip. Politics is not a soap opera. Talk about the real damn issues facing this country.
Right, the real issues, like the TPP and even climate change. Now, interesting fact about that, right? The TPP. There was a study by Media Matters found that aside from the Ed Show, the Trans-Pacific Partnership only came up about twice on MSNBC's evening programming over the period of August 2013 through January 2015. Oh, look, MSNBC canceled the Ed Show in July of 2015 for what some people say that was the reason for it, for bringing up the TPP at least that many times and his opposition of it. Interesting. Wonder if that played a part. And Chris Hayes, when it came to climate change, Chris Hayes did a brilliant documentary in 2013 called The Politics of Power. It aired once and then kind of disappeared to never be found on the website ever again. Kind of weird. Look, honestly, watch MSNBC for any amount of time and you'll see pro-fracking ads. Now, of course, on YouTube, some people have complained to me about some, ads and stuff between our channels, or before some of our clips, before some of the Young Turks clips, of how they're like completely opposite to our programming, right? Well, we don't have any control or say on what ads are played before and after our videos. However, MSNBC, they do control who's able to advertise on behalf of their network. And their advertisers and corporate sponsors happen to love TPP, and they also happen to love fracking. Now remember, the former owner of MSNBC, or the NBC Universal, which is MSNBC's parent company, was GE. And they recently sold that all to Comcast. And looky here, after that sale, and this is reported by The Intercept, Comcast had ended up lobbying on behalf of the TPP. I wondered why we didn't have that many mentions of the TPP on MSNBC. No. Keep it quiet. Don't criticize this incredibly pro-corporate trade deal. Instead, let's just air Donald Trump and promote the hell out of Hillary Clinton because, hey, look, she liked the TPP before she was for it before she was against it, right? She worked on it when she was at the State Department. And not only that, but she also promoted fracking when she was at the State Department. Worldwide, pushed it to all different countries. But quiet. Shut up. Hillary is the only electable one. That's the message. Instead of actually talking about these super important issues and being able to bring that stuff up. It's amazing. But look, thanks to the lack of Bernie coverage and the overabundance of Trump coverage, Trump is now the Republican nominee and Bernie Sanders is behind Hillary Clinton. Now, here's the thing. I like how Bernie Sanders has finally called out the corporate media for what it is. However, I think it was a little late. He should have done this from the beginning. Because, look, people see this, right? They see that CNN is failing. They see that MSNBC is failing. Not because people aren't liberal and they don't want progressive shows. No, it's because people see through the bullshit. And they go where the truth is. And right now, the truth is not in cable news. It's actually online. It's on the internet. It's a non-corporate sponsored, independently owned and funded new media. New media that's made only possible by you guys. By the people who are watching, by the people who donate. And that's the truth of it. And the other truth is, you guys are the future of online news. It's on the internet. It's here. It's no longer in corporate media.